Hey guys, this is Suraj here from Amandra Siksha. Uh, I am glad that most of y'all actually came and texted me regarding the previous video, which was how to, earn money as a music producer. And I heard that most of y'all are benefited by it, and you also see some changes in just 3 to 4 days. I'm really glad that, you all tried to even consider those rules and trying to implement it. So today's video is about how to process a voice, and this is especially for all of you voiceover artists out there. This is especially for you because I see most of y'all try doing recording and then processing your own vocals or your own voice, and you tend to have a very automated kind of voice texture. What do I mean by automated kind of voice texture is it sounds too robotic. It never sounds natural the way you record. That is because you're doing couple of things either too much or you're just ruining the chain of processing. Always there's a chain of processing which you have to do in your audio. If you do it vice versa, then that's what happens. So for all of you, this is one such video where I will be explaining in simple terms what processors you should use on your vocals or your voice, and what processors you're not supposed to use on your voice. And also I'll just tell you what is the chain of processing. Like for example, since you're already a voiceover artist, I'm pretty much sure you should be knowing what is EQ and gate and compressor and limiter, etc., etc., because you've been using it. It is just that you've not been using it in a correct way or in a correct chain. So I'll just teach you what is the correct chain, and I'll also show you some tips and tricks as I go. So let me play this video first and let's see what do we hear from this. Yeah, so I'll just play it.
Although the presentation went all right, there was a definite scope for improvement in almost all aspects.
So now, as you see this, you first heard the click noise over here, if I'm not wrong. That's there, the click noise is there, and then there is some kind of room noise that has been recorded in this audio. So the first plugin in your chain should be a gate. And what is a gate? A gate is a plugin that reduces your room noise, but not your complete volume of the voice or vocals. Now let me go find a gate quickly. So this is a gate, and I'm just gonna this would be the first processing plugin of your chain, because you first want to reduce the noise that is there in your vocals and not increase the volume and then try reducing the noise. So you first want to reduce the noise. I'm gonna reduce the noise.
Although the presentation went all right, there was a definite scope for
I'll try expanding it.
Although the presentation went all right, there was a definite scope for improvement in almost all aspects. Next, right from his dressing style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the whole thing could have gone a lot better. Next, use this model to encourage independent thinking, accountability, and to help your agents meet their undiscovered potential. Next, right from his dressing
You
style.
see that? Did you just hear that? There was no room noise now. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it.
Went all right.
I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna disable my plugin, and you'll start listening to the room noise.
Presentation went all right. There was a definite scope for improvement in almost all aspects. Next, right from his dressing style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the whole thing could have gone a lot better. Next.
Saw that? So what gate does is anything that is less than 60 dB. If you see here, the line is right now somewhere at 45 dB. So anything that is less than 45 dB of noise is being cut. So there is that the gate is not allowing that noise floor level to go. So any noise that is under 45 dB, I'm just cutting it down. See, right now I'm just showing you in a very quick manner so that I complete the processing chain in a single video, but then you have to try a lot of techniques. There is something called, expander as well. So I'll all teach you what is in-depth individually processing wise, but for now I just wanted to show you what's the entire chain. So I'll just get it a little quickly. If you have any doubts, just put it in my comment section, or you can email me. I'll also leave my email ID below. So this would be the first processing where you want to try reducing the room noise, or what you feel like a reverberant kind of, echoing, which is pitching back. So you just want to remove this. I'll again zoom it and I'll just loop this section. You see this? There's nothing right now. I'll disable the plugin. That is without the plugin. You see that so much noise with the plugin. See? Better? So you first want to reduce the noise level that has been recorded in the audio. The next thing what you have to do is EQing it. And I've had a short brief on what is equalization. If you haven't seen my video, please go ahead and see what equalization is. You'll get a clear view. Now I'm just gonna do a basic equalization. I'll show you what that basic is. Now I'm just gonna loop this section, say.
From his dressing style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the whole thing could have gone. From his dressing style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the
So now
style, his body language.
If you see here, all of this rumble in the female's voice is not necessary.
Style.
See, all that is not necessary at all.
The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability.
The moment I cleared the lower, you just have that presence of voice automatically.
Style, his body language, to his ability.
And then
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's.
This is where you tell that nasal kind of voice, or it kind of gives you that robotic feel.
Style, his body language.
I'm just kind of trying to reduce that. And don't reduce it too much so that you lose it everything. Just reduce it by 2 dB max, and then have a sharp curve.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the whole thing could have gone a lot.
And now anywhere between your 5.7 kilohertz to 7.5 kilohertz, or at instances there are also the sibilances which comes at 9,000 kilohertz. And what do you mean by the sibilances is that this S's, all these kind of too much of sibilances there would be in particular voices. So how do you deal with this? See, most of the people use the sibilance detector and they notch it out, or they use some sort of S cutter, various plugins have. But it's super simple that you can just go ahead and do it in your EQ, so that you don't lose everything and it never looks super automated.
His body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries.
You see that? That S's are somewhere here. And I'm just reducing it by 2 dB again.
The prospect's queries, the whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body.
And then I'm just going to give some presence to her voice, which is somewhere around 4.5. You see? This is somewhere the presence.
His body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries, the whole thing.
Why do you give presence in certain voice is that, see, most of these voiceovers or most of your vocals have been heard probably in TVs if you're a dubbing artist of movies, or it's probably heard in mobiles if they're playing it in companies, or etc. etc. I don't think so anyone is going to play your voice in a 5.1 Dolby theater. So you need to have that presence so that it comes out of a mono speaker, because all of these devices that they're going to play on has only a single speaker. They do not have dual, which is called stereo, or they do not have a 5.1 or a 7.1 speaker. So you need to have that presence in your vocals. So just make sure whenever you record and whenever you're EQing it, make sure you give a lot of presence and cut the low ends, so that when they're playing it from a mobile or when they're playing it from a normal Bluetooth stereo speakers, your voice tends to have that certain presence in it. So that is why I always give a 2 dB of presence.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries.
I kind of feel it's much clearer right now, and not many frequencies are overlapping here and there. So it's much clearer. I've cut almost pretty much lot of low end. I think I've cut my low end up to 127
Style,
hertz.
his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a style, his body language.
This is without the EQ.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries.
With the EQ.
The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language.
See, as simple as that. So right now, first thing which I did was I cleared the room noise. The second thing that I did was I tried EQing it. Now, what happens if you try EQing it and then you try, reducing the room noises? You would also try EQing that noise, which, you don't have to, because you can reduce the noise using a gate and then try shaping only your vocals and not try to shape that noise as well. So that is why you first need to have a gate and then you go to your EQing process. Now, after your EQing process is done, most of y'all would stop right here and not do anything, because I'm pretty damn sure any guys you send would already be an editing engineer, or they would have developers, or you would be sending it to an audio engineer who mix and masters your vocals. But for some people who has to do even more further, the next thing, if you want to increase your vocals and give a little tighter punch to it, is you have to try compressing it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try compressing it, just so that I'll just reduce by 3 dB so that I don't burst or distort any of your ears. So the next thing is I'm going to try compressing it. So right now you'll feel that the moment I start compressing it, the voice gets a little more punchier. It gets a little more crunchy. Let's try doing that. See, you can add any compressor. I'm using this compressor because I use it in all my projects, but you can go ahead and add any compressors.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability.
You see that the moment I turned off the compressor, the voice just went behind. Now I'm going to play this again without my compressor.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer.
Now I'm going to play it with my compressor.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect.
Now I'm going to switch on, off, and on.
Style.
Now I'm going to first turn it off and play, and then gradually as I go a little further, I'll turn it on. Just concentrate on my mouse button so that you'll know when I'm turning it on.
Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Style, his body language, to his ability to answer the prospect's queries.
Now, you just notice that how brighter and how, forward, and forward as I mean, it's not hitting on your face, right? It's definitely not hitting on your face. It's more soothing, and it's kind of, pleasant as well. Now, this is how you try to increase your vocals, and when you see there was a deduction of only minus 6
Style,
dB.
His body language, to his ability.
It's somewhere between minus 6 dB to minus
Style.
7 dB, and you should never cross, whenever you're compressing, keep it in mind for vocals, you should never cross minus 12 dB.
Style, his body language.
Because when you cross minus 12 dB, that means you're over compressing it. What happens when you over compress it is, most of the people get it wrong. If I compress it a lot, the volume increases. Up to a point, yes, correct, it does increase your voice, but it also kills the transients in your vocals. It also kills the presence, and it also kills all the individual factors or these minute flavors that are there in your voice. It makes it look like it's muffled and it's coming out of some well kind of, place. So you do not want to do that. You need to have the presence and the flavors that are present in your natural voice, but instead you also need to get a certain volume level on them. So the best way for you to do is compress it, yes, of course, but never compress it too much so that you don't get too much of detection. Even if there is a detection in your compressor, every compressor will have this meter. If you check this meter, you should probably be heading minus 12 to minus 6 dB, and that is it. I will make another video on what is compressor, what is ratio, what is attack. So stay tuned. If you haven't still subscribed to my channel, if you haven't still clicked the bell icon, please go ahead and do it so that you will get to know when I release another video about compressor or any of the individual processing plugins. This is a tip and a bonus kind of processing to all of you out there, which most of you all do not know. Trust me, most of you all do not come across this, which is called a stereo widener. Now, all of your vocals are in mono, correct? But when you export and when you send it, you see right now it's not a mono track, it's dual track. You see here, this is one and this is another. So now it's not in a mono track. When the person or the female who recorded it would have recorded it in mono, but the moment when she exports it out of her DAW or a recording software, the file is no more a mono, it becomes a stereo. So now, has a voiceover artist or has an engineer or as a music producer or whoever it is who's dealing with vocals, for you to set this vocals only to a mono speakers, you have to reduce its widening because it's right now a stereo track. You can of course go ahead and export it like this, which will 100% sound correct, but I'm just going in depth like a bonus for y'all. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a stereo widener plugin to this. Let me just catch hold of a stereo widening plugin. Yeah. So the moment I do that, you see right now,
Style, his body language.
I'm going to increase it, okay? I'm going to increase the width.
Style, his body language to his ability to answer the prospect's query.
You see, the moment I increase it, it went to the extreme left and right, which you do not want to do it because all of your voiceovers or all of your voices, again, as I told, it's been played out of a mono speaker or it's basic stereo, sets. So you do not want to give so much of width. So where, people, if you play this audio in a mono speaker, you will barely hear anything because it's widened to the core. So what you have to do is reduce the width.
Style, his body language to his ability to answer the prospect's queries. The whole thing could have gone a lot better. Next, use this model to encourage independent thinking, accountability, and to help your agents meet their undiscovered potential.
See, that's it. Super simple, right? So right now what I've done is I've kept the width at somewhere, 78%, which was at 100%. I've kept it at 78%. You do not want it too narrow also because again that would not have a stereo balance. So you just want to have it somewhere at that sweet spot. I would say sweet spot is somewhere between 65% to 80% for vocals, and yeah, I'm just going to keep it at 75% now. So this is the max or the best for a beginners, voiceover artist. And trust me, if you follow this chain of processing, they will not come back to you telling there is noise, your vocals are not sounding good, and you're not too loud, because I'm pretty damn sure all of this will be neglected if you're following this processing. Also, make sure that the process you record is at the best. You have to record at a perfect level. You have to record at a perfect environment. See, I'm not a stereotype guy telling you have to go and get it recorded in a $700 per hour studio or at a full-fledged studio. No, I do all of my voiceovers or all of my videos in a 4x4 room, which is not even acoustically treated, but I have certain things that is acoustically placed, which again, it's an in-depth topic. So I don't need you to get all of those things done, but your position of your mic when you're recording, just make sure that your your mic is pointing at your vocal cord and not somewhere else. So make sure you get all of those things right, and automatically the rest will fall in place. If you do not have a proper recorded file, no matter whatever you process, no matter how much of a processing you do, it cannot be corrected, because most of the people think it's okay, I recorded it bad but I can correct it in processing. No, that's a very, it's a myth. You cannot do it unless and until you have the root file in a proper manner and in an authentic manner. You cannot process, or you cannot do any sort of editing. It'll just not happen. So just make sure you try doing that. And for example, if you see this click noise here, it's still there, right? So the best thing you can do is you just have to edit it. So what you do is just cut it, and I'm pretty damn sure all of the DAWs will have a certain trick or a parameter called fade. So just fade it wherever you feel. See that there is some sort of disturbance. All I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut it and then fade it. Now
Aspects.
see,
Next.
it becomes clear, right? So all you have to do is just cut it, and don't cut it too much where you're cutting the audio by itself. Just cut it after certain milliseconds so that you don't affect the audio wave. Just cut it like this and fade it all the way till where the audio starts and where the audio ends. As simple as that. So in that case,
Lot better.
see, it's clean.
Next. Use this model to encourage.
Correct? It's super clean. So this is a very simple for all of y'all, who's trying to do a recording in home. And trust me, this is simple, but still it is standard quality. If you're sending this to an engineer, if you're sending this to a developer, if you're sending this to a company, they would be really, really happy. Trust me, because your volume level also, if you see.
Next. Use this model to encourage independent thinking, accountability, and to help your agents meet their undiscovered potential. Next. Use this model to
If you see here, my meter is showing somewhere around -4 dB. I'm just going to play it again.
Next. Use this model to encourage independent thinking, accountability, and to help your agents meet their undiscovered potential.
And then it went to -1.5 dB. So you have a headroom of 1.5 dB. So it's still, you still have some headroom left, and it's loud. It's loud as in not distorting loud, but a very pleasant way of loud. This is what all of the engineers or all of the developers who are sitting in most of the MNC companies or voiceover e-learning companies would expect y'all to give the file in, because only then for people like us, it makes our life not complicated by editing a file which has got a lot of noise and lot of repeats and lot of glitch noises, like like a mouse click noise, or a refrigerator noise, or a cooker noise. Just don't send files like that, because we cannot try processing it or editing it. No way we can do that, because those noise are encrypted in your waveforms. So for you to neglect that or not recording that is finish all of your work, and please make sure that you're recording it in a quiet environment. As I told you, do not need to go and record in a full-fledged studio. You can sit and record in a quiet environment and follow this chain, because I'm not going to explain in depth why I'm telling you to follow this chain, because this chain is one of the best chain for you to follow for processing vocals. Because as an engineer, when you send us the file to us, it becomes easy for us to get these things redone and then process it. There is a way for that to do, which I would not explain it for y'all, but yeah, so just follow this chain, and in a way everyone's happy. So I hope you really like this video. Stay tuned, because I'm again gonna explain in depth what is gate, what is compressor, what is EQ, what is image stereo imager, and how to record vocals. I think probably I should also take a video on how to set the gain staging for voice, so that you can record it in perfect level and not try distort or not keep it too low as well. So I'll try taking that video as well. Probably the next or the upcoming videos, I'll try including that and attaching all of the necessary things. But I'll and also for most of y'all who's again keen on what microphone should I buy, what audio interface should I buy, what mic stand should I buy, what kind of headphone should I buy, I will leave a link below in my description. Please go ahead and I'm just gonna leave an Amazon link so that you can buy it from wherever you want. But then I'll just leave it on Amazon, since you get to know the price value of it, and also you'll get to know the spec sheet and everything, because they include everything. So I leave a link below. Please go ahead and feel free to check all of the equipments. If and all of the equipments are not high quality budget, it is affordable even by a mid quality, mid budgeted person, but the quality is top notch. Trust me, all the equipments that I've put down, I've been using it for my lifetime right now. I've been produced tracks and mixed tracks and recorded for tracks that are there right now in iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc. I've done for some of the biggest persons in the industry using only these equipments. All the equipments that you see in my description are the equipments which has been owned by me as well. So I use all of those equipments, and that's why I've included them in my description, so that I have a better knowledge if tomorrow you're asking me some sort of questions, etc., etc. So please go ahead and feel free to see that as well. So I'll just call it a day for today, and I hope all of you like my video. Please subscribe, share, and comment, and also share it to a lot of people, or your voiceover friends, your artists, your vocal, your singer friends who's trying to do it in record, or try tracking in his home itself. I hope you really like this video, and please let me know what are the next things I'm supposed to explain y'all. I keep getting a lot of mails. I encourage them, so you also keep doing it. So thank you so much. This is Suraj from Aman Ra Shiksha. Again, like, support, and comment. Thank you.